My question is about the impact, because the U.S. isn't a major importer of energy from Russia, say like the Europeans, our friends there, did not ban oil because they're too dependent on it. So how much of an impact do you think it will ultimately have in terms of hurting Putin?
Well, first of all, I think it's really important that we not finance Putin's war. And I think that's why so many people in America have felt that way, too. Surveys have shown over the past few days that up to 70% of Americans agree that they are willing to even sacrifice themselves by paying more at the pump in order to not fund that war. If you combine this, of course, with the sanctions that have already been collectively announced against Putin, these are extremely damaging. Now, let me just say that we know that the United States is in a privileged position in this way because we don't rely that much on Russian oil and we don't rely on Russian gas at all. We know that our allies across the world may not be in that same position, and so we are not asking them to do the same thing. But for us, for our nation, for our citizens, this is an important statement.
Should we not be boosting energy production right now in this country to meet demand, both domestically and in places like Europe?
We should be boosting all around the world and in the United States, and we should be investing in moving toward clean energy as well. That's what our message is here at CERAWeek. We want to see increased supply. We want to see it in the United States to the extent that the industry can do that. We want to see us move as well toward solutions that don't have us relying on fossil fuels from countries that do not have our interests at heart. We have to do both, and we have to accelerate.
How much are you willing to do on that front? Because there's been a lot of criticism for this administration in particular for being tough on oil companies and limiting production, not allowing the federal leases on federal land, not allowing the Keystone pipeline to go through. Is there some regret and potential change?
There is nothing that would have increased production. If the Keystone pipeline had been approved, it wouldn't have even been built by now. So that is just a talking point. There is this administration, under this administration, oil is almost at record production. By the end of this year, it will be at record production. Natural gas is at record production. Liquefied natural gas is at record production. Every molecule that we can liquefy, we are exporting in terms of natural gas if there is a facility to liquefy it. There are 9,000 permits that have been issued that are not being taken advantage of. And I say that to encourage the oil and gas sector to take advantage of the permits that they have. There are 20 million acres of public lands that are under lease right now by the oil and gas industry that are not being used, that are not being produced on. And remember that 90% of oil drilling is on private lands and not public lands. So this is not about that. Those are talking points. What we want to do is to say we are in an emergency. We have to increase supply so that we cannot, that we can make sure that people are protected at the pump. And we have to move to clean energy solutions with great accelerating both right now. But clean is in the end where we should be so that we don't find ourselves in this position again.